What's up everyone? Welcome back. As you can probably guess, we are in for another hair video. And you are seeing this correctly, my hair is straightened. Yep, nice and straight. The purpose of today's video is to show you exactly how I straighten my hair. So I use a couple of different techniques and my hair came out straighter than I have ever gotten it by myself. And with the most ease too. I wasn't struggling, my arm wasn't tired, it didn't take me nearly as long to straighten my hair to get it this straight. And this is just with one pass of my flat iron, if you would believe that. So I will show you guys exactly how I get my hair this straight. Now my hair is not the easiest to straighten, but I don't have like 4C hair where it takes a little bit more to straighten the hair, but I have a lot of hair. My hair is not the easiest hair to straighten and to get to remain straight. So this is a huge feat for me to get my hair this straight. So stay tuned and I will show you guys exactly how I get my hair this straight. So before I do anything, I make sure I deep condition my hair. And I like to sit under a hooded dryer while I do this because it adds extra moisture back into my hair prior to straightening it so I don't strip out all the moisture, making it dry and more prone to breakage. So now we're moving into blow drying. If you can get the blow drying right, it makes straightening your hair so much easier. So I take one of the 4 sections of my hair and split it into even smaller sections. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a shower cap on my head, it's because it's keeping the sections that I'm not working on moisturized so they don't dry out while I'm prepping my hair for blow drying. So the first thing I do is add my favorite heat protection in my hair. This stuff is awesome. Then I add my favorite blow drying cream. This stuff is discontinued sadly, but it's awesome if you can find something similar because it's not heavy. You can put a lot in your hair if you really need to, and it smells divine. Now for extra smoothness, I add in argan oil. Argan oil is great for when you're straightening your hair. You can honestly just use this, but I know for myself I need a little bit more reinforcements. This is now the time when we get on to blow drying. As you can see here, I use a comb attachment on the end of my blow dryer. This is so important if you want to get your hair as straight as possible. But before I do that, I make sure I comb out my hair with a wide tooth comb because I'm not trying to rip out my hair as I blow dry. I'm using the tension method here when I start my blow dry because it makes life so much easier. What I'm doing is pulling a section of my hair taut and running the stream of air from the blow dryer down the shaft in one direction. And what this does is prevent frizzing but also stretches out the hair so I don't have to run my blow dryer through it so many times when I actually go ahead and insert the comb like I'm doing here. It makes blow drying hair so much easier, so much quicker. You don't even have to put that much heat on it. It cuts down time. It's really great and it's a lot more gentle and prevents breakage on your hair. So once the hair is nice and blow dry, this is what it looks like. As you can see, it's nicely stretched and ready to be straightened. Now the only thing for me to do now is complete the same step on the rest of my hair. This probably takes me about 40 minutes because I have a lot of hair, but just take your time and whatever amount of hair you have, I promise it will cut the time down dramatically. I'm going to be using a thermal brush and I'm using the step between the blow dry and before the flat iron. Now I made a video about this, so if you want to learn about a thermal brush, check it out, I will link it. But I'm not going to use this thermal brush on the highest heat. And this is awesome because it reduces the amount of heat you have to put on your hair. So what I found is that using the thermal brush really cuts down on the frizz that I have at the ends of my hair, which is mainly why I do it prior to flat ironing my hair. I just take the thermal brush at a low heat setting and run it predominantly focusing on the ends of my hair. And what this does is make it so much easier for when the flat iron needs to run through my hair. So it doesn't make it super straight. That's not the goal I'm going for. I'm just going for an additional helping hand before I actually flat iron, which is step 3. The flat iron I'm going to be using is one that has argan oil infused into the plates, which is awesome. It makes the hair so much smoother and shinier. And it goes up to 450 degrees, but I'm not using it that high. What you want to do is take one of the 4 sections, split it into even smaller sections, and take a light holding spritz and spray it onto that section. I use it about 6 inches away from my hair. I make sure I rub it into my hair, which helps evenly coat it, and then I also comb it through my hair to make sure that my whole head is evenly coated as well. To straighten my hair, I'm going to be using what is called the chase method, which is well known here on YouTube, but I'll show you if you don't know. You take the comb with the comb teeth facing upward and insert into your hair, and then you take the flat iron and run it behind the comb as you move slowly down the hair shaft. And what this does is provide your hair with an even heat distribution, and it gets most of the strands in each section so that you don't have to go over your hair so many times, and it makes sure that your hair is so much straighter that way. And it also really gets the ends straight, which is nice without you having to run over your hair a lot of times and giving your hair the possibility of breaking. So I show you this a couple different ways. Don't worry about the heat you're seeing coming off my hair, it's just the flat iron reacting to the holding spray. So as you can see, my hair is nice and flowy and bouncy, and I didn't have to use much heavy product, and that is what I found to be the key of getting my hair as straight as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these same steps throughout the rest of my hair. Remember to take your time when you're doing this and use small sections because you're going to get your hair the straightest that way. So in typical Amber fashion, I of course forgot to film legit outro clips. So here's some random clips throughout my recording of when I was straightening my hair, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. This is what my hair ended up looking like. So straight, so soft and shiny, and just felt really good. So try this out. If it works for you, let me know. Leave any questions you have down below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.